change your mind, if you change your mind.
I've always seen multiple people wanting this episode to be a full wedding episode between Ruby and Sapphire, while the diamond stuff can happen afterwards. And knowing full well that Rebecca Sugar wanted this wedding to happen, despite everything that she went through, it really shows that this episode came out at the wrong time despite having everything that it wanted to show. This episode is great, but at the same time, for how rushed it is, with this being the starting point of the somewhat downfall of this season, I really feel like that everything was really on a ticking time bomb when it comes to the production of this show. And for me personally, they really didn't know how to handle what they're getting themselves into when it comes to the events of this episode and the following episodes afterwards, including Change Your Mind. Let's get this out of the way. The song For Just One Day, Let's Only Think About Love is a great song, and it really sets the tone of the wedding between Ruby and Sapphire. The pacing involving the wedding, thanks to the song, along with the two gems getting married to fuse back into Garnet, I really like it. And it really sums up of how everything of what Steven accomplished, and how the song itself, when it has For Just One Day, sums up a lot that this should have been the main focus of the episode, and having the diamond stuff happen in a separate episode. It makes me feel like that they could have had more scenes centering around Garnet finally being fused and dealing with so much happiness after getting fused after several days of Ruby and Sapphire being away from each other due to the news. Trust me when I say this, is that this could have been a shining moment involving Garnet's character. She has become more healthier than before, and it's mainly the fact that in the earlier seasons, she had development. But when it comes to this moment, we really wanted to see more of that due to how happy she is with her being fused back into the fusion that we all remember since the very beginning. It's just really a shame that with what happens after 8 minutes, and yes, after 8 minutes it leads to the diamond stuff, it really overshadows Garnet's development and her shining moment, because to tell you the truth, this is definitely her day, and she deserves her day. But then again, I will admit that for how the second half of this episode damages the credibility of the wedding itself, it's still the good aspects of this episode, mainly the fact that looking at it on its own really makes it a really good climax, well, not really climax, but a battle between the Crystal Gems and Blue Diamond. Believe me, every time that you think about the Crystal Gems facing off the Diamonds, this will never ever disappoint you upon watching it for the first time, especially since that the cluster that the Diamonds are trying to form from the Earth's core to join them, but the cluster fights back when it comes to the little diamond ship. That just sums up of how much I appreciate the battle between the Crystal Gems and the Diamonds, because I was looking forward to it upon watching the show for the first time. And even though that I'm mostly disappointed that the Diamonds aspect have overshadowed the wedding, with it being squished into the wedding portion of the episode, I can't deny that any of this is the opposite of great, especially the moment where Yellow Diamond sees Steven after he told her that he's Pink Diamond, and then Yellow Diamond said, "You." And the music is so good when she ran as fast as she can to stomp on Steven. It got to the point that you would instantly think that Steven is destroyed, and he didn't. But the scene itself is honestly so good, I can't get over it. which leads to another power from Steven of going into people's thoughts, which, for me personally, I have mixed opinions towards that, considering of how that this was introduced way later in the season, not to mention at the end of the main series, but as far as I'm concerned, but I don't think he has any other alternative to convince the Diamonds that he's Pink Diamond. And believe me, if the world, then I'm pretty sure that there would have been more episodes of Steven trying to figure out a solution rather than witnessing the powers firsthand upon experiencing them for the first time. Like, I don't remember any of this when it comes to my first binge watch because I don't remember everything, but the more I think about it after watching this episode again, it really feels like that this is a power that can instantly showcases Steven's way of trying to help out every single character that he tries to get their side of. Even though that the Diamonds are a difficult task for him to do so, I really feel like that the task that he went through in Change Your Mind probably is a continuation from this, even though that he never uses this power aside from escapism. For the ending, it's surprising, and it's also a good way to wrap up the episode, despite being so clustered with multiple episode ideas that didn't have episodes of their own. This episode was a huge wild card, if you can put it in a way of seeing these ideas coming into a 22-minute episode. I may enjoy the wedding, but due to the whole gay thing that's been happening that people are really against, believe me, the taboo thing is still all over this episode, with it still being from 2018. Even though that I'm not homophobic and I am honest with that, I really feel like that if this show was made now and it didn't have any of these problems with this whole gay thing being still taboo, which is still taboo to this day, but when it comes to elements like this, it's difficult to make an episode out of. But I'll admit, you can still make great elements involving that topic when it comes to the relationships that you developed over time. And I have to be real with you for how this episode aged when it comes to the wedding aspect. It made me appreciate it a lot more, to the point that having an episode centering around that is the best decision. It's just a shame that for how Steven Universe went through when it comes to the production, its luck has been run out in the same ways as Craig of the Creek. It kind of shows that every single cartoon always having luck running out no matter what they do. With that being said, I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. And since we're waiting to the characters going to Homeworld along with the Diamonds development, it's gonna be a difficult next few days when it comes to wrapping up this season before heading into future.